welcome to the road trip. It's the day after, but a big weekend, big weekend, and we'll get into all of that. Actually, it gets a big day as well for some, but we'll get into it. I want to say hello to everybody. First up, Mr. Tom, how are you doing?
I've had less emotionally draining days. Let's just say.
Oh, Jesus, look at this guy, and look at this guy. Look at this guy. He had a good day today, and he's trying to say he didn't enjoy it. You enjoyed it. You had fun.
I
That's
didn't
what
even
it's
know
all
it
about.
happened.
You were there watching it. You know what happened. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But
Didn't
Tony,
see the end.
how are you doing, sir?
I am very relieved.
You're very relieved. That's interesting.
Yeah.
We'll get into that as well. Sounds like some people are relieved, and some people are thinking
It's
it wasn't
nothing
a
to
good
do with the
result.
football. Nothing to do with the football, but we
Okay,
could
so then,
devise
well,
later on.
nothing to do with the football. Then what did you bring that up for?
Because you asked how I was, and I was
Oh,
relieved.
you're relieved. Okay, I thought. Well, okay. How are you about the football? Let's get that out of the way then.
Uh, Still don't like Jesus being in there. I didn't like that. We just absorbed the pressure, didn't go after him. We seen that we can go after him. Uh, just, just don't like when Arteta has a certain bag of tricks, and he really likes them. Where he's got these like 5 or 6 army men that he can't live without, and Jesus is one of those. We've seen it 2 years in a row. We score 4 or 5 goals to nil against with smaller clubs, which we shouldn't. With the wingers and stuff we have,
Hmm.
but we don't. I think Martinelli probably should have started the way he looked, or at least came on at halftime because Saka just
Uh,
was wasted or whatever his problem was. He just
all right. We'll,
physically,
we'll
mentally
get into
didn't look
that.
good.
I didn't mean to go too far into in depth here because we're gonna do that anyway. So sorry to interrupt, but I will say hello to everybody, and then we'll get into the bits and pieces of the game. So let
Everybody
me.
ignored the last 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, that was my fault. Sorry, I should
I
have
tried
stopped
my
it.
best to.
Yeah.
I made sure to not even barely even listen to it. To be honest,
Yeah. Listen to it or listen to him.
I don't even know at this point.
All
I
right.
just sat. To be honest, I just sat there thinking, you'd have discussed this for about 2 hours on a Sunday night. What can you possibly say that will be new or
No,
different?
we shall see. And you know what? Even if we did discuss it, I don't need you on here telling us that we already
You
discussed it. So
discussed
this
it
is
with each other. You discussed it with each other.
there's more that we can talk. What do you want us to just stop the show because we already talked about it on
Yeah,
another
that'd be a
show?
great idea. That'd be the best
All
idea.
right.
No, don't
You
do
know what?
that.
I'm
Don't
just
do
gonna
that.
mute you so I don't even have to hear this nonsense. But just want to say hello to everybody in the chat first. Miss Melina, welcome to the show. She says hi everyone. BX Gunner's in the house. Spencer says 00 socials. I don't know what that means. And Sam has joined us. And yes, I actually said I don't know if you caught it yesterday, Sam. I did say sorry about going after you on the Jesus thing. I did say it yesterday, but we'll get into that as well.
What were you guys
Why?
going on?
He
I
was
want to
just
hear the
saying.
story.
I was just trying to back up Jesus, and I probably shouldn't have as much as I did. But we'll get into that as well. Brownie joins us. Welcome to the show, Brownie.
Hi, Brownie.
Stephen is also in the house. Welcome. Welcome. All right. So we got some people in with us. We'll get into it. Yeah, it is the day after, and maybe we have discussed it, or maybe we haven't. Not everybody has to know.
But you have.
No,
though.
nope.
But you have.
No. If you're, what is wrong with you? What is
There,
wrong with this
there
guy?
was
He just
there
comes
was
on
six
here.
people.
Guess what? I already heard that already. Guess what? I already heard that.
There
Oh, I
was 6 people on the fan circle, Tom. So we didn't get to say as much as we would want to,
know.
or talk about what we wanted to. So now we can.
Yeah.
Stop being Mr. Bah Humbug.
Yeah.
Do you
No.
need a hug? Do you need a tickle? What's wrong, Tom?
Yeah. No.
You Chris?
Now, I was just gonna say, everybody's going after Jesus. Put your finger down. Everybody else is going after Jesus, so I try to cover for him. But he definitely needed a little bit of that.
I'm glad everybody else is joining my party that I've had for a year. Actually, since you joined, I never wanted a guy.
What is he talking about?
Jesus. I'm glad everybody finally joined the party. You said people are talking about they're angry about Jesus, and I've been that way.
Well, no, it's the same stuff. He's not clinical. That's really that's the main thing that we can say. He's puts himself in positions, but he's not clinical. But anyways, let's get into it. So it is the aftermath of the game. We may have talked about it, but our thoughts may have changed as we've thought about it a little bit more and watched videos. You don't know because you know what? Drink your soda. Shut up.
Have they?
You don't know.
Is there one element that is different?
You're still drinking. You're still talking. Quiet.
Don't you have some balls to put in your mouth? Some pork balls?
Oh man, yeah. So let's get into it. All right, go. We'll go into Arsenal and then we'll get into. I know Mr. Tom, even though he says he hates football all of a sudden because he hates football when his team wins. He hates football when the team loses. The man's not satisfied at all. I don't get it.
Maybe he should just stick to wrestling.
Yeah, maybe he should stick to wrestling because he knows that's real and he knows how that's going to end, right? But anyways, Arsenal nil, or should I say City nil, Arsenal nil. After the game, we're taking a point because one of the things we said was, guess what? Oh, before we get into it, there's one more last guest who joins us. He's a little late. Had some business to take care of. Spencer, how are you doing?
I'm excellent, guys. How you doing, Tony, Tom, Gary, chat room?
How you doing down there, Spencer?
I'm doing all right. It's not too bad.
So wait, you used to be on the floor. So wait. You used to be on the floor. Are you now under the couch?
No, I'm upstairs right now.
It looks like you're under the couch. That's all right if you're under the couch.
I got to telework today, guys.
It looks like he's like in a crawl space or like
I don't know. Mr. Tom is going. That is some dark going on there. Can't see.
I'm trying to show I have a darker room than Tom does.
Yeah.
Is that like a super black they came up with? It's like the blackest black that you can come up with, and you really can't discern it. You just see it as a black, so you can't tell the distance or anything.
I might not even exist right now, Tony. You don't know that. I could just be here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got promoted upstairs. Look at that. Or you know what he said? He did squatters' rights and rights. He was in the room and nobody else can get in there now. He hasn't left all day. Man's got buckets and everything.
So.
Yes, yeah. And we'll get into that. But so we'll talk about the game, as I said, and we'll start it off. Going into the game, Arsenal needed to get a point, no matter what. They needed to get the win because the win puts them in a better position for sure. A draw, now they're depending on everybody else to drop back to people to fall down, or at least Liverpool to fall behind them. So I didn't actually think when we started this game. I didn't think when we started this game we would ever get into a situation where we would play that kind of a style of football. Many people believe that wasn't their plan, was to actually attack, but then City came out, which I find surprising that Arteta was surprised that City would come
We've seen us play City this way twice, Gary. Twice.
Dude. What?
Does everybody do monologues?
No. Sin bin his arse now.
Let me have my say, dude. You can have your say when it's your turn. Let's go in a circle. All right, let's do the circle thing. You go after Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom probably will pass to you anyways.
Exactly.
Right? So, anyways, like I said, I thought the way that we played actually was if that's the way that he ended up changing to make sure we guaranteed a point, that's good because you know what? We've never been able to do that before. I've never seen us do that, at least lately. Oh, the dog said, you know what? I don't care if that door is closed. I'm coming in. That was great. I think the way we played, even though, whatever they did, We nullified it. They didn't get much going on. They did have attempts, but none of it on the build-up. So I think in that sense it was good. If that's the plan B, then I think Arsenal has shown that they can do that, and they did it against one of the best teams in the world, regardless of injuries or whatnot going on with them. Because that's what you need to do once in a while. I have a feeling if we went all out, it might have been a high-scoring game, and then people will say, "Well, why did you try to nullify them?" We're not going to win, Arsenal, but I'm taking a point. I wanted 3 for sure. I wanted 3. We had our chances, and I always say that all the time. Every team will give you a chance. You need to take it. They gave us at least 3 chances, probably more, that we failed to even create. We need to do better. We didn't. So that's kind of my synopsis on that. I'm taking a point, but I definitely believe we should have been able to get all 3 points in this game. Mr. Tom, talk to me.
Gary, it's a genuine honour to talk to you on this Monday evening.
Yes, sir.
I'm disappointed in the time change because it was actually really convenient for me that things would start an hour earlier, because then they'd finish an hour earlier. But anyway, sorry, but I digress. Anyway, I hope everyone out there in internet land is, and at what point do you realise I'm filibustering just to keep Tony from doing his thing?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I was like, what's going on here? Let them in.
But in all seriousness, all right, I'm not going to do a full tactical breakdown of your game, but I do recall saying to Alonso on his channel on Wednesday that if I was an Arsenal fan and I'd get a draw there, I'd be, pardon my language, I'd be fucking thrilled, because you usually get battered there, and on this occasion, you not only didn't get battered, you kept the clean sheet, the cleanest of sheets, some might say. Not me, but some. But anyway, you did well, all right. I can understand the small contingent of Arsenal fans that are disappointed you weren't more adventurous in the context of, because there were elements of the game where maybe you could have afforded to like dip your toe in the water to try and edge forward or that. But generally speaking, you stuck to whatever your plan was, and if you went there looking to get an 0-0 draw, congratulations, Arsenal, you fucking succeeded. You got it. Anything like this, but the key thing was you didn't lose the game. You're still in the title race. You'd have been in the title race even if you lost, but metaphorically you would not have been. But congratulations.
Yep. No, I mean, as you said, we are still in it. I think mentally we're in it, which is also the case. The team knows, look, we can go we can go to we can go to Emirates and get something out of the game, even if we don't play the way everybody expects us to. So Tony, talk to me about the game. We'll just stick to the high level stuff. We'll get into the details later, but talk to me about your thoughts on the game.
Again, didn't like the really lineup. I mean, if Arteta is somebody in the teams that have been known Saka wasn't ready to go. Like I said, I didn't want to see Jesus until after Easter. I don't like us setting up defensively. We've done that, I think, twice against City, once against Liverpool, and we got beaten those times. I think you've lowered your guns because you're like, every game's a must-win. Now you're happy with a point. But I didn't like the way we set up. I think we got the attack to go after them. That's the way we played the first game this season. To me, it doesn't matter where the hell you're playing. Just focus on the pitch. You got Arteta screaming at you. You probably can't hear the fan noise over Arteta anyway. I mean, you're probably seeing that dancing chicken running up and down. But I thought the second half was a bore. I think we could have put it away easily in the first half. Jesus missed 2 clear chances. Move on to the second half. Missed another clear chance. And other than that, to me, it was just a boring game to watch. It was like the first Porto game where we were playing for a draw, but we didn't fuck up at the end and let it go in like we did Porto. And I think we're going to see that we're back to the same old Arsenal before we were scoring 4 or 5 goals a game after this. When I don't think we'll do that on Wednesday. I don't think we'll have 4 or 5 goals because we'll probably have Jesus in there. Unless he decides to rest Jesus and we get Trossard. But that's pretty much it. It's kind of lackluster, and I don't like negative football. Arsenal fans have criticized it forever, so they should criticize when their own team does it.
I hear you. I've never said I was happy with the draw. I said I'll take it. I wanted to win. So if you were listening to me, you would hear me say that multiple times. And going into the game, I wanted us to go out trying to win the game. But I'm taking a draw. I'm not taking a loss. I don't want a loss. But I'm okay. I'll take the point. Point's better than nothing, and the point mentally is better than nothing. And the point actually means that, guess what? Arteta's done pretty well against the top 2 teams in the league. Nobody else can say that. Nobody else has taken 4 points from City and Liverpool this season.
Sorry, I had to move out of the light. I thought Jesus might be calling me, so
I don't know what
stay
that
here
means.
in
I don't know what
shadows.
I don't know what he means by that. Yes. I don't, yeah. Steven, I don't know if Arteta set the team up to do that, but I think he definitely, after the first 10 minutes, decided it was best that we tried to nullify what they were doing because we weren't having any luck and we needed to do something different, and we did. So, Spencer, talk to me about the what you saw, I guess, high level in the game.
Pretty happy with how it turned out. I mean, obviously with the 3 points, but it's like Sam said in the comments, you don't go there and play them wide open. You will get opened up there. They will open you up. That's what happened in April last year. We went in there, we tried to press them high, and they opened us up. So what did we do this time? We averaged 9.2 fouls a game. This game we had about 20. So we did a little shithousery. We kicked them. We fouled them. We made them uncomfortable. I think Holland had 4 touches in the first half. I liked Jesus starting. I didn't like it when it actually played out because I was expecting the pace of Jesus and Saka to kind of potentially expose them. But once you saw everything tactically build up, it kind of made sense. I would have actually liked Trossard to come on at halftime, to be fair. But, I mean, look at the substitutions. Partey and Tomiyasu came on. Look at the tactical. Daku came on with Grealish. And Daku was going to abuse Kivior. What's he do? He puts Tomiyasu out there. I mean, Partey looked pretty decent yesterday. It's a good point, man. And look, I think this is the first manager I saw a tweet today that has beaten Pep. Is the first manager to not lose in Premier League to Pep and Liverpool in the same year. It's not easy to win at the Etihad. You lost 4-1 last year, 5-0 the year before that, 1-0 during COVID. So, I mean, I get where the negativity comes from on some, but I mean, now we're chasing Liverpool, right? But at the end of the day, look at the defensive performance you had. I mean, that's 3 games now where Erling Haaland has been non-existent.
Can I do a quick ask trick, Spencer?
Go ahead.
Last year, we didn't have a certain Saliba.
We're not going to bring that up again,
Arteta didn't have trust of a new center back he hired. We've seen that.
All right, dude. Let's stick to this. Let's stick to this team, this game.
Yeah,
we can talk about the history, but we'll get to history. We'll do history later.
Last year we were missing Saliba, so
all right. That's fair.
We're missing Partey as well, so we were missing a lot of players.
Yeah, I think Partey out? He was in that game, was it, or was he? But anyway,
I don't think he's ever played against City. Every time it seems like he's injured when we have to play City.
But I mean, think about this right now, guys. If I had told you at the beginning of the season that Arteta that we would have taken 3 points at home from City and Liverpool, that's 6 points there, and then two on the road, you would have broken your hand off for that. So I mean, we're watching this team get drastically better. I was actually really happy with it. I know, like, I wanted the 3 points, Gary. I understand it. Like Jesus. It's some frustrating moments, but I think he served a purpose on it was a team win, man. That was not a team win, but it was a team effort to get out of there and not get – I mean, just imagine if we get slapped up the pitch then 3-4-0, I think we're out of the title race because mentally you're done. But now you went there toe-to-toe and you're still in it. Now you're chasing Liverpool. Liverpool stressed to the Europa League on Sunday, Thursday. No one's really won the league with that kind of format. I mean – you never know, man. And look, pulling Saka off and like Sam said there, he put Martinelli on and played him on the right. I thought it was genius. So I'm looking forward to the Luton game this week. I don't know if we're going to put 4 or 5 past them. I don't know if we need to. Just need to keep winning, not conceding goals. That's it. So we already got the goal difference. Let's just keep the clean sheets and keep it moving. But I thought it was an interesting game. Congratulations to the women on getting the Conti Cup as well. I enjoyed watching that on Sunday. So I thought it was a good weekend for the Arsenal, all around, women and men.
Yep. We'll take that. And there's some good comments in here. I mean, talking about the formation, this 5-3-2. Yeah, I think that's just because of the state of the game. We had to make a change, and we stuck to it. And as I said, you're going to get chances, and we got the chances. The one thing that did surprise me early in the game was Guardiola. I think his name is. Basically, being able to control Saka, which to me made me think, is it Guardiola or is Saka also not? I mean, I think Guardiola at one point had Saka on skates as he was coming up the pitch and got away from him, and I'm like, okay, that's not good. That's not good when the defensive player is, able to get away from your wing there. If I recall, that happened there. So I thought, Saka did not look right, and maybe we'll get into the players now. Well, like I said, Saka looked off to me, and I think, as Tony did say, if you go, I always say this as well. If you go into a game, you look at your players, and they're not fit, and not going to be able to give you what you want. And you have, if you have the depth, you should use it. Saka, I don't know. He may have. I don't know what he gave us but it wasn't enough. I think we needed more in this game, especially the way we played. So I don't know what that meant for who would come in, but I think we need to do something different there. Saka definitely stood out. Trossard, we know, didn't have the pace, and that's what we were lacking in this game as well. So you have Trossard and Saka. I don't think Saka has the pace either. So basically, we didn't have on the wings anybody who's going to allow us to go out there and break on a consistent basis. So it's up to Havertz to maybe do something, being the tall, lanky guy that he is. But we weren't able to get him involved as much as we would like. So for me, I guess I'll start up top at the attack. Not as much as I wanted from that. Jesus always gets himself in positions, which is good. He can hold up the ball and do whatever he wants with it. He always seems to be around the ball when it comes. He's in the positions for the ball, just not clinical, and that's something we've had to deal with. I think So I think in general, even if we decided to go on the attack, I don't know if it would have mattered because that front three didn't look like it was going to happen for me. Mr. Tom, Mr. Tom, we'll go backwards on the next question. From our Arsenal attack, what did you see? Because I didn't see enough for us to get one goal, much less two.
I didn't see anything.
All right, you want me to skip you?
Well, I didn't watch the game, so.
Okay. All right, I'll move on.
I literally didn't see anything.
All right, Tony.
I can lie and say I figuratively never saw anything. And be all like, I didn't see enough.
Usually you give me something. You don't usually just tell me I have nothing to give you, which is fine.
One thing I think we've only seen, as I asked you and Spencer this, I think we've only seen this once under Arteta, where he's made like a after warm up that he's made a change, and I think that was Partey. You've seen that under Emery and Wenger, but somebody should have said Saka's not ready to go today, or he should have noticed it. And even if he had a limp on until halftime, I mean, you could have made it earlier. Obviously, at the end of a game, he's hurt. How long that's for, we don't know. But like I said, Jesus had 2 or 3 chances, didn't do much with it. Havertz, really didn't hear his name. Jorginho, you didn't hear his name. I mean, about Odegaard, Gabriel, and Saliba is really about the only names you heard. I thought they were the only ones that really showed up and were still trying. Tressard came on. I think people over criticized him because I think it was probably his first touch of a game when Odegaard found him out there on the wing. I don't think that ball, or can't say for certain if that ball would have got to Martinelli after it crossed the front, because that's a long distance to cover. It's about 45 yards, so who knows? He kind of dribbled it up there, and like I was telling you yesterday, that's kind of what Martinelli always would do, is just dribble it out. He'd go to the front and just dribble it out. But I can't say many good things about him. I can't really criticize him because it doesn't seem like they really have the ball much either. But Jesus should have put his chances away. So my only criticism.
Cool. Spencer, talk to me about that front line.
Yeah. I mean, so you had 27% possession on Sunday, which I think was a season low for this team. So really everything was kind of set up to kind of play defense, potentially get 3 or 4 counterattack chances, which we did see. There was a couple moments from Jesus where I think, like, if he could have passed, potentially look for a better option, maybe it goes your way. The Trosser moment, I think, was the best moment of the game, if I'm at all honest. And what's even crazier about it, when he crossed it in and took the shot, it bounces off Ortega's hand. And if Havertz is like 2 seconds later, it's a tap in potentially, or at least back on target for another shot. But he was so far in the run that it bounced past him, right? And that was probably your only chance in the game. It's hard to say because, I mean, looking at it, I'd have to watch it again, but it just doesn't feel – I feel like everything was set up to play kind of like I don't want to say a low block because we didn't really do a 5-4-1, but kind of defensively and kind of sit back, soak up pressure, cause fouls, take away the passing lanes, take Holland out. That there really wasn't – there's not much to really judge the forwards on. Do you know what I mean? But I tell you one thing that did frustrate me when I was watching it, there really wasn't an outlet when we cleared it. And so City, we were very sloppy clearing the ball. Something I noticed on especially in that first half. But if you go back to the Emirates, we had some squirrely moments in the first half of that game too when we were kind of feeling it out, right? So, yeah, it's hard to really judge them. The Saka thing, if Martinelli could have played, I think you would have loved to see him get half that game, right? I mean, the cut on the leg, I'm glad he came in and he still looked like he had his pace and everything. But if you'd have had him out there at least at halftime, maybe you nick one because he's just he always causes problems for defenders with his pace. So, and then, of course, I mean, you think, Rico Lewis coming in playing for Ake, that was something. Could we have potentially maybe taken advantage of that mismatch with them being down a man and a defender? Maybe, but it's hard to really guys.
He looked like a midget or a leprechaun. He just missed St. Patrick's for that week.
Rico Lewis is a great player. Love to have him at Arsenal. And just, he can play backline, midfield. I mean, it's just but look at Foden. Did you see his stats from Sunday? Didn't do anything. I'm sure we'll get to that.
The stats. How much possession did you say you had?
It's like 27% or something. It was very low.
I can tell you why you never won then. Because in 2021 or 2020-21, there was a certain team from West Yorkshire that achieved the 28.9% of possession, 2 shots on goal, and beat Man City. Now, I'm not going to tell you who that team is.
You know what? I don't think anybody cares, so let's just move
on. The Real United. The Real United.
And, basically that team, a mystery team, let's just call them, basically had
L United
shot accuracy, but probably the lowest possession amount to win a Premier League game ever at the Etihad.
Yeah.
But
you have to be clinical. That's the key part. Yeah. That's all. The whole thing, which is something we haven't been as much as we would like, is be clinical.
We had those chances, Gary. We had them. We just didn't put them away.
Yep. You have to kind of put them on target with a little bit of velocity behind it. And a lot of times our shots are easily stopped. They don't sting the hands, or they're just nowhere near. nowhere near the mark. So,
I think the whole thing was damning for both teams because in the second half, there's three shot attempts between the two teams. That's just
3 shots on target, you mean, right?
no 3 shots.
In the last game, there were 3 shots on target.
There was 3 shots in the second half. That's what the commentator said.
I don't think so. I think there's a lot more than that because I'm just looking at the stats here. They had 8 shots and we had 2. So there were 10 shots in the second half. But we had the 1 shot on target. So I don't know if that's what you meant, but
No, they said shots.
yeah. So I mean, we had 2; they had 8. So yeah, even we had Martinelli out there, we didn't even, it didn't create even more chances for us. So like I said, I think Martinelli needs time to get back. That's probably why he didn't start. And if he started and they had to pull him early, I think that would look bad. So I think when you're bringing a player back, do you just start him immediately? Sometimes you don't. We don't have to. That's why when you finally have depth, you don't have to just bring somebody and bring him back into the starting lineup. We talk about this all the time. Do we have depth? Yes. When you have depth, you don't have to do that, right? There's only a few players out there that we have no answers for. That's why Saka has to play. All right. Rice will always play no matter what. Odegaard, our center backs will play if they come back. But otherwise, I think we have depth in other places right now. So never going to see that where we bring a play in or leave them in. So that's on Arteta though for those players where we don't have depth. So I would talk about the midfield, but I think both midfields for me were not good. I mean,
Odegaard had a few good moments.
In general, the midfields were being we're hitting long balls. Why? Because the midfield wasn't available to us. We were just going over them. I mean, as many passes as I saw go long and out from Raya, long and out from some of our our defensive back, our defensive line. We weren't going too much through the middle.
Our best chance though was Odegaard to Trossard.
Yeah. Like I said, it wasn't a mainstay. It wasn't a staple for the game.
I agree with you. I think the midfield was basically a no-show, but I think Odegaard had a couple of moments of brilliance. Everybody else was. Yeah. I mean, I never remember hearing Jorginho's name by the commentators. That's how ineffective he was.
Yeah, well, I did the watch along, and I don't
until he was subbed.
I don't remember saying his name much in the game, and it was hard to say many people's names from the midfield. Mr. Tom, anything on the midfields? Well, I got you looking at us.
I have lots of stuff to say while Tony's talking, but now I've been just nothing, bro.
All right, we'll come back to you. Mr. Tom will have something to say because I said he had a good day today. He said it was a lot of stress and he didn't like it, but we'll get into that as well. So Spencer, talk to me. Do you have anything much to say about the midfield? Because I don't have much.
They played really good defensively, and that was the job of the day, though. I mean, I know where the frustration comes from because we didn't really do much going forward, but it really wasn't the plan at the time. I'm sure if they could have. It's such a tight chess match, like Jorginho had a couple good tackles back to back. Rice had some really good tackles. Had a couple that I think one that looked like it could have gotten sketchy, or that could have potentially been a card. But kind of like the first game of the Emirates, Michael Oliver just didn't want to have an impact on the game. Neither did Anthony Taylor, and God bless him for it. So he just let him play it out, and we got away with a lot of fouls that probably should have been yellow cards. But the midfield, offensively definitely missing, but defensively they played a big part in breaking up those passing lanes and not allowing Rodri to have his say. Kovacic dropped deep later in the game, and Guardiola had his free flow with it, but they really didn't do much with it. And it was just a weird tactical game, just very feeling out. And, I don't have much to say about them. I don't really have many complaints, but the subs were good. Partey came in and, gave us about a good 35 minutes, looked pretty decent for the most part.
You thought he looked good?
Yeah, I thought he did for what his task was. He ended up playing the 8 for a little bit. Rice dropped back to the 6, and they floated around each other. That was the tactic of the day, though, Tony. The tactic of the day was to keep Man City from scoring. And if you got an opportunity, you got an opportunity. We got 4 chances in the game, couldn't put any of them away. That was the tactic of the day. If you go wide open, you lose 4-1.
But for me, the first 3 minutes he's in there, he lost the ball like 2-3 times right off the bat. I didn't think he looked that good, but
there's some rustiness there. I did notice that, especially at Tommy Asso too. But that was to be expected. When you haven't played a lot and they throw you into probably one of the biggest games of the year, at the moment, it can get bigger for you at moments, and then look how he finished. He did well. So
I heard that. We're going to say hi to a couple of people, and then we get into the back line, and the goalkeeper, which I think is probably where we can talk a lot, at least positively, about in the game. AFC always, welcome to the show. Colonel Ward has joined us. I saw your question for Tony. I'm not putting it up, so sorry about that, Colonel Ward. Yep. Yeah, we'll talk to Mr. Tom about United, and get into that. Even Mrs. Spencer's not happy with Jesus' performance. Yes, they've had 2 shots on target in the last 2 Premier League matches that we played them. 2. No goals. They have no goals against Arsenal in the Premier League. Big stats. I don't know what this means, but we get into the back line. Once again, I think the back line has been a staple all year. I'm going to delete that Colonel Ward comment. Hey, God, I should delete it before you came back. But anyways, I think the defense has been our staple all year. Once again, they've been steady. It doesn't matter who we put out on as a fullback. We've always been able to defend. It got a little early in the game.
Minus Partey.
Talking about the back line, Tony. Partey doesn't play in the back. He doesn't. He's not a fullback. Just give up.
He played as one.
He's not a fullback. He's not part of our rotation as a fullback. Okay? He isn't. In an emergency, we saw what Arteta will do. We don't like it, but he's not part of our fullback rotation. It's not even. I don't even want to. Don't even talk about it. That scares me. But I think our back line once again was solid. I think to start the game though, a little iffy there. I think the whatever City came out, on fire, put a little pressure on Kiwior. I think they decided that was the best side to go on. I think most teams will test Kiwior. It's probably a good thing for him. He's going to,
He's on fire.
Yes. So I think they did it. They tried to get at him, but I think he was able to, slow things down eventually. Say hi to Anders, who just joined us. Welcome to the show. But in general, the back line does what the back line does. I mean, think about it. Haaland, nothing. I don't even know if he took a shot. I don't even know if he took a shot. And we didn't put him on the ground, but he was not. I don't think he got much going on. Let's see if he even took a shot in this game. And if he did, I think it was from distance, because a lot of times, because he did get a shot. He did get 1 shot off, I think. Oh, he got 2 shots. But
I think
both off target. But
I think one was a hitter.
Yeah, but he didn't get much, and I think that's the way we wanted it. But I think our defense was solid. I think Rhea, For me, Ray did. I thought he did good because I just remember some of the crosses he would come in there and command those. Couldn't. I think the name of the game wasn't to get the ball out after he got it either, because we didn't see much in the way of him getting the ball out quick. I think Arteta was happy to slow down. I think there was a couple of times where Ray put our fullbacks into under pressure. That's probably more from Arteta than I think it was from just City being that good. I think we were happy to slow the game down, and you got a point out of it, I guess. But yeah, in general, for me, defense was solid, has been all year, and did their job. And hope it continues. So, Mr. Tom, anything you want to say on the defense? Some people were asking if this is the best center back pairing in the world, I guess, or in the big five.
My actual favourite comment, I believe you started it, was, "Is it time? Can I put it up?"
No, because it's probably not. Is it the nonsensical one?
No,
I started. I started.
started.
Yeah. You can put that up.
Right. So, is it time to have the conversation about Saliba and Gabriel being the best centre-back combo we've ever had? I mean, we can have that conversation, but the answer will be it's not the best centre-back partnership you've ever had because they've not won anything. And I know that sounds like a really horrible thing to say, but the reality is you've had many centre-back pairings that have won things. I don't think that's unfair of me to say either. They might currently be the best centre-back pairing in the world, but they are not the best centre-back pairing you've ever had.
And they're both
Bold or
25 and 23.
Won a lot of shit.
Yeah, so they have time. They have time.
I'm not saying they don't, but
No. I'm just saying that's the thing. They have time. So, they have time, and they're doing. I don't think the issues Arsenal have, for me, anyways, I feel are because of our center backs. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's up top most of the time for us. Anything else, Mr. Tom? Or do you want to wait for Tony to talk?
He's just delaying.
He's just thinking. All right, go ahead. All right, Tony, I'll let you talk. Back line, good again.
Back line, TV or good, or actually great to me. He really didn't let anything by there. I thought I wouldn't have substituted him off. I thought that was a weird first substitution. Actually, I didn't like either of the first two, but as I think he did good. I think he could have did this last year. White did a couple key tackles. Other than that, he never really stands out negatively or positively that much. He just kind of puts in quiet performances. Saliba, good game, but I think Gabriel had the better game out of the two. I mean, you sit there at the end. I don't know. Did you catch the end of it, Gary, where Guardiola was out there? I don't know if he started Gabriel and Holland going after it or not, but they're sitting there chirping at each other. Some other City players were coming in there, and then finally Gabriel and them hugged second game and went into the locker room. But you can't criticize any of them, but you can criticize. Are we to do separate for the goalkeeper, Gary?
You just make it part of the back line. So for me, I just talked about the whole back line, all five of them.
Yeah. Some of those kickouts were just, he didn't seem like he put any power on him. He wasn't under enough pressure to kick like that. I think he got distracted when they kicked the ball out of his hand because he's right there at the 18-yard line and they kicked the ball, which is that illegal, Tom, or not? Because he was right at the line.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, is it illegal to try to kick the ball away from a keeper when he has it at the 18-yard line or over 18-yard line? He was right in that border.
What do you mean? Where was the ball?
It was in his
Where they
hands,
kicked that.
but they kicked it out of his hands and they blew it dead.
If the keeper has one hand on the ball, generally it's considered fair game, from what I'm aware of. I could be wrong. But generally, the goalkeeper's going to get protected.
Yeah, I thought that's kind of one of his worst performances. I didn't think he was under pressure to make the mistakes he did, but he definitely gets them all again after the Porto game, so washes out. Can't be perfect every day.
Yep. All right. I'll be right back, Mr. Tom. You got the wheel. Be nice. You can start your chat also on the leads because that's kind of where I was going to go next, anyways, and then finish up, with their scores and stuff. But it's been a good day for leads. I'll be right back. I have to go do some fartherly things. So continue on. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Not really sure where to go from there, but
I could do the defense real quick, Tom, if you want. We can.
oh, please, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
No, you're fine.
Spencer got skipped.
No, you're fine.
Jesus.
That that back line is really good. I think the conversation is it the best in the Premier League right now, especially the center back pairing and Saliba and Gabriel. I mean, that's the big thing about Holland. Holland likes to operate in space. So what did we do on Sunday? We took the space away from him. He's a flat track bully. Gabriel went one-on-one with him. Saliba goes one-on-one with him. They're not scared of him. They're the same body type, the same size. Ben White is just the football intelligence on that guy. He had Jack Grealish in his pocket. Jack Grealish didn't stand a chance going against Ben White on Sunday. Timber, a little shake. I'm not Timber, Kivior had a couple moments where I think they got past him. I can't remember who was playing on the wing. Silva was playing on the wing and got past him.
Was that early on? Because I didn't.
Yeah, very early, because the minute Daku came on,
like 22nd minute.
Yeah, hold on a second. When Daku came on, right? That's when they were like, "Yeah, we got to pull Kivior off and put Tommy Ass and put some more physical on Daku," because that was he was trying to. Everything was taken in the middle, so Gordo was like, "I'm gonna try to do the wings at this point." Then White and Tomiyasu finished it off good. Raya, I wondered if he had some issues with his cleats early in the game because he kept slipping. I don't know if the field was extra wet. I don't know, but he did well commanding his box. I mean, it's a great point, Tom. When you go back and look, and I think we've talked about this, the last time Arsenal got a win at the Etihad was 2015, almost 10 years ago. 0-0. I got no complaints, man. But that's all I got as far as the back line goes, Tom. If you want to go to the leads, you're more than welcome to do what you got to do, bro.
Can I do one quick comment? I think everybody builds City up a little bit too much because they have 0 wins against the top 5 this season.
That's true.
They've been beaten up on the little guys.
So have you.
Correct, but it's a distant history. If you think about it, right? There's recency bias, right? The players there that have won the treble are still there. A couple have moved on or whatever, but it's Tom, we've watched multiple sports. When you have a GOAT in theory, right? You have to figure out a way to take the GOAT down. You haven't won at the Etihad since 2015. You still haven't won there, but you're a lot closer than you were last year. I mean, 2 years ago, you got pumped 5-0. Granit Xhaka got sent off with a 2-footed tackle. I mean, is it not? Look, everybody wants free-flowing attacking football. They want to go out there and see everybody boom, boom, boom. But sometimes you have to win ugly. You got to cheat. Sometimes you got to do the shithousery. You got to slow the game down. I mean, think about this one. I'm going to bring this up, Tom. How about the new rule about the ball boy? No more ball boys. Now it's on a disc. If there's a ball boy at this game, do you think potentially they get a quick goal on you? I mean, yeah.
That is a thing. That's definitely a thing because I remember when Man City played Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. It may have been 2 years ago. Could be wrong. It might have even been last year. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Anyway, I think Atletico Madrid won the first leg 1-0. Put another way, again, Man City made a point. Pep Guardiola made a point of giving a team talk to the fucking ball boys, because he was basically like, they are going to try and put the ball out and time waste as much as possible. So you need to make sure the ball goes into the hands of their players, meaning Atletico Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept the ball in play as much as possible. Like, that's a detail that is very rarely looked at, let's just say, in football, and Pep is on it.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, that's being taken away.
Yeah, it's such a tactical advantage too that the home team has. I mean, Arsenal used it. We've seen Arteta use it. He's thrown it to some. I think it was a couple of years ago. It was Ben White. It was a quick throw, and it turned into a goal. I mean, there's a clip where I think Jose Mourinho's out there hugging a ball boy because there was a quick goal. I mean, it's a thing. I mean, the time wasting, it's part of it. I mean, I mean, I think there's a comment here from Colonel. Sometimes you need Mikel Arteta to turn into Sam Allardyce. Not the cheating portion of it, but sometimes you got to be negative. You got to go there.
I think Raya definitely could have got two yellows for time wasting, because he started there early on the first half. Then two other players got it on Arsenal for wasting time. So
I'm glad that Anthony Taylor decided to not have an impact on the game. I love him.
That's what surprised me, is like at least yesterday, I don't know about today, but Arsenal fans criticizing him. It's like he was letting everything go. You guys were mad at the first Porto game. I mean, I didn't think there was any nasty tackles out there where it needed to be stopped, but I thought it was a good refereeing job.
It's about reading the room, and I think Arteta's learning how to read the room properly and coming into these games. I think what's happened now also is we have a squad size where you can play multiple ways. Not every team can go out there and play multiple ways. Pep Guardiola can do it. Liverpool can do it. And you have to be able to figure out to set it up for a 5-4-1. Sometimes you got to go 4-4-2. Sometimes you got to go 4-3-2-1, play wing backs, whatever you want to do. But, you know, the good teams have the ability to play multiple styles of football. And, you know, I can see it, Tom. I'm good, though. Go ahead, Tom.
No, it's fine. I've surprisingly little to say, because if I get into the things that are actually in my head relating to football, it will get aggressive very quickly. So let's go try not to. And yeah, I am wearing a Christmas sweater at Easter. And what the fuck of it?
I know I made that comment like 2 weeks ago, and you're like, it's my nighttime clothes, so kind of likes Christmas at nighttime.
Should be Christmas all year round, some would say. Hello to Moss Sports World. Hello. I think his name's actually Moss. And he has a sports world. And he's in the world of sports. Hello, Moss.
Worldwide.
You don't say.
Sports.
And
I remember loving watching that on ABC. Wild World of Sports.
I mean, because the chicken wanted to get to the other side, I don't know. Why would anyone have a 2-litre bottle of Pepsi, sir? To drink it, I'd imagine.
Probably because you like fucking drinking Pepsi would be the correct answer. I'll do some of the eggs for you, Tom, since you don't want to do it.
Sorry, don't want to ignore Holly, of course, with just say it, Tom, but it's probably best I don't, because I'll go into
She just wants to fucking laugh. That's all she wants to do. She just wants to laugh, Tom. So don't feed into that.
Are you saying that your wife's an internet troll?
If she can instigate to get a good laugh, Tom, she will do it. I mean, look who she's married to. I mean,
While you're up there, is he trying to claim the carpet downstairs? Like making it
That's
hers,
not
marking
PG.
the territory?
That's not PG all, Tony.
It's funny though.
Pure Tony Turner.
Oldie but a goodie.
Yeah. He's got a T-shirt. That's Chris Nick. Sorry, of course, has said he's got a T-shirt that says Arizona Uni on it. Never even been to the US. I saw a hell of a lot of Oakland Raider jackets in the 90s from people that I bet couldn't even point out on Oakland on a fucking map.
And now that they're in Las Vegas, you probably have the same number of people that can't point to it on a map.
People in California don't even know where it is.
It's funny, like people in California, they just know like this 75 to 100-mile radius. They don't know anything, hardly any of them know anything about the rest of the state. It's just like a localized thing because there's really no reason to travel. Unless you want to take a holiday, go to wine country. Too expensive to go to San Francisco, so.
I'm gonna say this much Arsenal wise. We got Luton this week at home, Brighton away. If we don't take 6 points, it could be over. But have they set the card for WrestleMania completely for this weekend? Is that are we?
There's
really
one
hard to
open
say.
slot. There's one mystery open slot. I
Mm,
think there are two other Tom. 3 open slots total.
it's gonna be Brock
I have
versus
no
Vince
idea.
McMahon.
That would
Vince
be
McMahon
hilarious.
versus the federal government probably going to play out at some point on night 3.
I would love if somebody just ran out as the poop emoji.
Well, I've got a joke. Okay. What do you call a Leeds fan with 3 sheep? A pimp.
I was gonna say a Welsh native.
I was going to say 3 sheeps to a win, but it's not 3 sheeps to a win. You can use that.
Did you hear about the Conservative MP, Member of Parliament, who was found dead in a Tottenham kit?
Mm-mm.
The police had to dress him up in women's underwear so they could spare his family the embarrassment.
Yay, Tom's coming out to play now.
Okay. So, Somerville has been cooking. Apparently, they did rock, paper, and scissors to decide who was going to take the penalty. There was a big fight on the penalty spot.
We'll smash them.
That's not PG.
So was Leicester just basically saying, you know what, the Premier League's about to hammer us, we'll just stay down here?
I mean, I'd like them to actually say that and then carry it out.
It's an amazing argument by Leicester because they're like, oh, we're not part of the EFL. We don't fall under your rules. Oh, we're not part of your. It's a genius argument. But I'm also for them fighting it too because if Man City's not going to get held accountable, why should we hold Leicester accountable at this point?
Because it affected my team.
Oh, I get that. I get that, but you know,
Gary's back.
You're gonna get promoted anyway, Tom. You guys are coming up. You're not gonna have to go to Wembley. You're gonna finish in the top 2.
If Leicester win their game in hand, we will be 3rd.
Who are they playing? Birmingham. Yeah, they got the Fighting Tom Brady's.
I'm not too enamoured with the promotion race at the moment.
So what teams are in the playoff? 3rd through 6th, is that it?
Yes.
How's that set up, Tom?
How you said,
Inform us.
third will play 6th, 5th will play 4th, 2 legs, yep, and then they will go to the final at Wembley.
I like single leg affairs. But
Well, yeah, that the final is a single match. But that being said, I hate football
Why do you hate football?
because
Your team won
football is
3-1.
allowing Ipswich to keep winning.
Yeah.
Wasn't Ipswich in League One last year?
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be a.
And we put 8 goals past them, and it doesn't matter because everyone else goes to shit when they play Ipswich. And it winds me up.
So what happens if Ipswich goes to the Prem? How many points do they get?
Hopefully none.
Are we talking a Derby County here?
Probably
Gary
not.
disappeared
No,
again.
actually, knowing my luck and how things turn out, they'll win the Premier League. They'll win League One, win the Championship, and then win the Premier League in 3 successive years.
I think Gary came in to make sure the kitchen wasn't on fire, then kind of walked away again.
I hate that team. I hate that team so much.
Jeremy Sarmiento plays there. Didn't know.
I don't like that, man.
Gary's back again.
He belongs to Brighton, so.
Yeah.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Half their team is loaned from the European clubs in the Premier League.
Who's that? Ipswich?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Half their squad's loaned in from the Premier League. But everyone will sit and tell me what underdogs they are.
Well, it's not. You know what? It's an underdog because it's not everybody can just take players from anywhere and get them to work together. It's not that easy. If it was, people would do it all the time, and we've seen it not work. Like Exhibit A, Chelsea went out and just got tons of players. Doesn't work just because you have players from that are more experienced and talented. Doesn't always work. So. If that's the coach's fault, then you're blaming the coach, not the players, right?
Yeah, when you bring in like 12 forward or 12 attacking players, whatever you want to say, and none of them pan out, it's definitely the ownership and coaching. But I think most of it, you still blame on the ownership that the British government wanted to fucking pick on Chelsea. I think it's like, here's the worst possible owner would I pick for you. I really want to see what was in their bid.
I'm going to repeat what Simon Jordan said. An owner that spent £1 billion on players is horrible. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, but this is what they do. As much as I dislike Chelsea, if the owner wasn't an American, they wouldn't be whining as much. But because it's an American, it's an easy shot. So whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because the American owners, one, probably have no business being being football owners to begin with, because one, they've never grown up on it, so it's not because of the love of the game. All right, the same thing would happen, and I think that's why the NFL is set up with their ownership the way it is, because they kind of want some ownership, that's probably comes out of the country and has a little bit, you see a lot of these people saying they were fans of particular teams and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like I don't like the idea that they have international owners, because I think you lose a little bit of the nostalgia and the love of the game more than just the money that gets out of it. It's a business to some, and it's actually football to others. I think that's what you lose.
I don't think the NBA does, do they? I can't think of any foreign owners that they have.
No.
I mean,
I was to make an observation about 3 minutes ago, Gary, that seemed like our fastest hour ever. Just like flew by. Nice and enjoyable.
Well, I think it's because he is American. I think he gets shit because he turned up not knowing the rules of the Champions League and football in general.
Yeah.
I think it's because he bought loads of players thinking they automatically are in the Champions League every year and then found out they weren't and then continued spending. I think he's a moron. I think he exposed himself as a moron. I think he mapped out a team sheet which had 12 players on it. I think if he did that and he happened to be from Germany, he'd get shit for it, and quite rightly, because you're going to spend that kind of money and you don't even know the rules of the thing you're spending money on.
So, Tom,
Well, I don't think that would happen if it was a German owner, because I think a German owner would have one understand European football. You know what I mean? I think
It's the
that's
worst
what
example, but
you
yes.
know. Yeah, so like no, but I mean, you pick most of the countries in Europe. There's probably they probably have some understanding of football in the sense that they understand that there's 11 players on the pitch. You know, Champions
I am
League and
prejudiced
whatnot.
against Americans at Leeds, though.
Yeah.
I am.
Then you
I
prove
will
my point.
openly say it.
You're proving my point.
Yeah, but
No, because they're shit.
but
My
But
point.
what
They're
made-
shit
what
and
made-
American. They're not shit because they're American.
no, but
They
you,
are
but
shit.
no. You brought up American and that word all in the same sentence, so you're associating both together, and that's what we're trying to say. No, it does nothing to do with American. It absolutely has nothing to do with American. All right, nothing.
Nope.
Nothing
Get out
to
of my
do.
club, Weston McKennie.
Yeah.
Get out of my club. Get out of my club.
Because they're
Adams.
bad. They're
Get
not
out
good
my-
football
fuck off,
players for you.
Aronson.
For you, that's
how
it.
did the-
But it doesn't matter where they come from, because we've seen some good ones come through. All right.
How
We
did
have.
the three or
Aronson
four?
won. Just kidding.
Oh boy.
How-
Oh.
I'm just joking.
Anyway,
You know I had to do that.
how did the 3 or 4 foreign owners that came into Germany? How did that come about? And I had a question for Tom earlier. When did they kind of get rid of free agency in European football? Because you had it at a time, then you have Chelsea's owner want to go back to that time.
You can always sign someone on a free.
I don't know what you mean by free agent. What does that mean?
Well, like NFL and NBA, like you can make trades up until for football. You'd probably say February. You can't, or March, probably February.
They have
February,
windows
March,
for
somewhere
that,
in there.
Tony. Isn't it a windows?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is a
but it
trade
used to
deadline.
not have the windows. They used to have free agency.
When did they do? When did they not have windows, Mr.
I
Tom?
ain't got the video anymore for his question. That's a shame. I was looking for him going, Tom.
Gary,
I
God,
got
listen.
it.
Gary, ask Lawrence on Thursday because he's talked about it before, so he can tell you.
So it's not your question.
It is. It's my question, but
Are you referring to
thought
the
Tom might know.
1995 landmark case where I think it's Jean something Bosman in Belgium, I believe it was, wanted to break his contract because generally you still had to move somewhere for a fee, but he felt like if he was out of contract, he should be able to go where he wants. And the European Court of Sport, I believe it was, ruled in his favour, creating basically, without that man, you do not get Sol Campbell for free in 2001, for example.
A lot of things you want to get, but
because generally it was understood that you'd pay a transfer fee if a player was out of contract, because generally players left before the contract ended, because there was no transfer window apart from a small window of deadline. Basically, there was a small part of the season between March and May where you couldn't transfer, but you could from the end of the season to the 17th of March. And
that's what I was guessing is somewhere between February and March where they'd have cut off.
But what's the difference between that and what they have now? I guess maybe I missed that.
Because you can pick up
now
players
the transfer
anytime.
window's in line everywhere. It's the same everywhere. But
okay.
but it was a specific English thing where like you could basically buy a player all through the year, apart from like the last week of March till the end of the season, basically. And
That seems kind of crazy.
Does that seem like a better model to you, Tom, or do you like the transfer system?
it's a difficult one because I think arguably it provided people or clubs. Clubs would buy their way out of trouble in March, some successfully, some unsuccessfully. West Ham had it down to a T.
Was there less manager changes then, Tom? Since you could bring in the players to help you out instead of sacking your manager to turn your season around?
That's actually a good point, Tony, because back then sackings were far more rare compared to now. Because of the sheer cost of football players now, it's genuinely cheaper to sack your manager than to bring in a new squad.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas that wouldn't necessarily been the case 30 years ago. I'm not going to say like players were free 30 years ago, but obviously your money went a lot further in 1992 than it did in 2022. Put it this way, Chelsea wouldn't have needed to spend £1 billion to reshape their entire squad in 1992.
Will they even have to spend 50 million?
I think Blackburn spent about 100 to win the Premier League in 95. That's not factually correct, but it feels like it is. Might be a bit less, but your Premier League history, folks.
There you go. I heard you talking about Leeds. Did you ever get into that, or did we get into transfer talk?
I hate Ipswich.
Oh, no. I don't care about Ipswich. That's why I said Leeds. So I said Leeds. You said Ipswich. I don't want to talk about Ipswich because I don't know anything about Ipswich. I did watch them play today, but I don't know much about them.
I will not be surprised if in 10 years' time there is some sort of indictment because Ipswich have been bunging goalkeepers.
But can we talk about Leeds?
He doesn't want to, Gary.
I don't want to talk about Leeds. I saw him play today.
They annoy me. It annoyed me. It felt flat because of what happened in the game. Like that finished like 20 minutes before our game started. It was like there was no atmosphere. It was awful. I mean, that might be because I had the TV on mute, but I imagine there was no atmosphere because everyone looked like they weren't. Everyone looked like there was no noise or anyway. My point is, my overarching point, all right, is that it sucked. Okay, and yeah, supposedly my TV's turned off at work because like you can't have. It's easier to kick people out if your TV ain't on, basically, right? So, because people tend to like staying to watch the end of the sport, but then
fucking lightning
there's
bolt.
no sport to watch, they'll fuck off. And then I can go home. But anyway, so it turned out that I found out through the socials that it turned out we scored 2 goals at the end of the game. But I don't know how that fucking happened because we were dog shit. And we were dog shit.
No, you know what it was? Is all those things that you weren't doing for 80 minutes. You decided to do them in the last, basically what you scored in the 88th minute. All right. I mean, that Somerville attack, attacking the defender the way he didn't see much of that in much of the game. Decided to turn it on. I was saying, you brought Joseph on, and then the game kind of sped up. I don't think he had anything to do with that, but it seemed like it. He came on, and then 10 minutes later, you guys setting up for a penalty kick, which I thought was interesting, and the way that went down.
I've seen how it's gone down since it happened, and it's very. I could be out of turn here, but I think it's quite amateurish how that went down.
Yeah, no, I think so. I don't think Somerville. I don't think Somerville was tasked with taking that penalty, and I don't think Perot looked like he wanted to take it because he wasn't really too you're holding the ball, getting ready to take the penalty kick. Nobody's taking that ball, right? Nobody's taking that ball, but Somerville basically came up like, "I'll take this ball from you," and he kind of gave it up, and then just sat there. So I don't know. It seemed like you want that out of your players. I want to take this shot, but the manager does things for a reason, right? If Somerville was meant to take it, he would have been standing there the whole time with the ball. So that it definitely did not look like everybody was on the same page.
I think the referee in Southampton game should be investigated. I think the Southampton goalkeeper should be investigated. I think there's a lot of investigations that need to take place in that game. Quite frankly,
it was a late goal, right? With like
97th minute.
Yeah.
But I want to know where the 7 minutes came from because it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
That was funny. Yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
Tom, do you want to take
Are you in witness protection?
I know what's going on. What's going on?
No, that's what I was going to ask. Do you want to have an informative question or do you want to have a funny question first?
Well, you only get one question, so you pick.
I get two.
No, you get one question.
I'm in witness protection voice.
No, I was asked you to do my witness protection voice.
Oh my gosh, are you going to ask the question? Stop playing around.
I asked a question. I asked Tom to do me in a witness protection voice.
What? What is going on?
Tom, do you not want to do my voice?
I'm going to sleep. Good night, everyone.
Okay, so my informative question is, when do the playoffs start, Tom?
I don't care. You had your chance.
At the end of the season, Tony. You got what? How many games you have left? Is it 8?
Start of May, usually.
How many games you got left? Like 8? Is that right?
Something like that. That sounds right.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Actually, tell a lie. I should double check it, really. I should know these things. I should know these things, but I don't know these things. I'm obsessed with Ipswich. Anyway, no, 6 games. 6 games and Leicester have 7.
6 games.
I'm obsessed with them. Right? I'll say it so none of you all say it. They're in my mind rent free. And I should be charging them the amount of money they're obviously paying these referees to give them 700 minutes of stoppage time in all their fucking games. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Say it.
So, Mr. Tal, I know you scored. Then you kind of let them score as well. But for most of the game, I don't know what you felt about the way you guys played. I kind of felt like you're always going to make that wrong pass. And you weren't playing the 50-50. They had more effort than you guys. 50-50 balls. They pressed you, and sometimes you just pass it right to them. And I don't think that had anything to do with the press. It's just not clean football. They played dirtier than you guys. You're supposed to be dirty leads.
That's how a lot of teams actually try to prevent us from playing, because I'm not gonna sit here and act like the inferior team should try and go toe to toe with us at football, because that's absurd. That's like me saying, why didn't Arsenal play an open, expansive game at Man City? Because it would suit Man City. And you have no divine right to, Man City have no divine right for everyone to play in a way that lets them win. So it'd be delusional of me to say the same thing. Like, Hull have no right to play in a way that makes it easier for us to win. But I do feel like teams play in a way that makes it easier for Ipswich to win, which really annoys me.
I hear that. Somebody wants to see the table. I don't know what they're looking for, but we can put it up. You don't want to say anything else about Leeds?
Oh, I have a lot to say. I just don't think you all have the time to sit and hear it.
Go on, talk about it. No,
I hate Everton too.
you hate Everton. Hate Everton. I assume this is the table he wants to see.
Championship table. I think he meant the championship.
Oh,
table.
sorry, I can do that too.
He
We have.
supports Arsenal. Of course, he knows you're second.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let me go to that table.
I blamed your group chat. It was me.
There you go. Come on, what's going on with this? Can't go to this. All right, here we go. Boom. Come on.
1-0 to the Tractor Boys. 1-0.
Come on. This thing is. My computer's acting really slow today. I don't get it. So nobody wants to see this. So we will just remove it.
Well, it's good data there, Gary. I was reading it. I'm just joking.
All right, come on. Let's hit this. Jeez, what's taking this thing?
Look, Gary, thunderstorms.
Oh no. All right, so here we go.
So, what was your funny question, Tony?
My funny question was you to do the my voice and witness protection. We didn't ask you Australian Siri, but that was my question. Tom.
Ipswich.
This is what you wanted to see?
I never. It's a request for Bex Gunner.
There you go. So that's the table as it stands.
Yeah.
On form, I guess you say on form, right? Leeds still has one of the, it's the best in the league still.
We've not lost a league game in 2024.
There you go.
Well, there you go. You should be able to get promoted then. And Ipswich will lose another game, and Leicester will lose another game, and you'll be all right.
Oh, my God.
Just sing happy thoughts, Tom. My gosh. You got it in you.
I mean, it's 2 points. I mean, it's going to be what? Maximum of 2 points that need to be made up no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
That's
So
be happy, Tom. You get your wrestling Super Bowl this week.
what?
If we don't go up, we're fucked. We have one crack at this.
Why do you think that?
You get 3
Because
years.
that's usually true, Gary.
Oh, because you got to lose a lot of players.
Well, yeah. We'll lose our best players.
Who are your best players?
I imagine we're going to lose Somerville, Ruter. Rodon will go back to Tottenham. So he obviously ain't going to come back to Leeds for another crack in the Championship because he'll go to whoever comes down from the Premier League, probably. I don't know. But it won't be the same Leeds team next year. Basically, I feel like if we don't come back this year, it will never happen. I'll have to suffer the indignity of being around all you lot when you all act like, oh God, the earth is falling in because you're fifth or whatever. And I'll be sitting there going, I'm not even invited to the fucking party.
Well, you don't really bring it up, but you did. You made me say it. But there are levels to this thing, so
fuck your levels.
I mean, there's this thing in life.
Tom, got a question for you, Tom. You get your Premier League golden parachute. Do you have like a time span you have to use those funds, or do you just have those funds?
Well, yeah, but they're
paid
the wages, aren't they?
And the owner's got to buy a new yacht, Tony. Come on.
2 yachts.
You got the 49ers.
Doesn't matter if you can't, because of the new fair play rules, you can't spend the money. Even if you have loads of it, you can't spend it. Only Man City can spend what the fuck they want, apparently.
You're going to get promoted.
And Everton.
You're going to get promoted, and you're going to have Brendan Aronson, Weston McKennie, no Tyler Adams, and then you're going to even add Christian Pulisic. He'll come back. And then Jesse Marsh is going to become the director of football. And Matt Turner is going to be the keeper.
Tom doesn't want any more Americans.
Is there anybody
It
else?
was an experiment, a failed experiment.
You know.
Do you think Marsh should have got more time? That you look back on the time, I know at the time you kind of thought he did.
I didn't think Marsh should have been sacked when he was sacked, but that was more because of the timing of it. Why buy the players that he brought in and then sack him at the first loss after the transfer window shut?
Yeah.
In my opinion, you've then committed to him by then.
It's weird how often teams do that. It's like, oh, let's spend a bunch of money and let's hire a new guy, but next week or 2 weeks.
But I do think he should have been sacked before that. If you were even considering sacking him, should have just fucking done it. You either decide you shit or get off the pot. That's it. But I think he's a fucking fool in hindsight because of his penis ball tactics, where it's like, oh, I don't like wingers, so we just play through the middle, and then we have a young left back in the team, and we just give him to Ipswich for fuck all, and it turns out that he's fucking scoring goals for Ipswich left, right, and centre, and he's got the most assists like ever for a defender in the Championship with like six games left. It's like, fuck Leif Davis, fuck his fucking rat face, fuck him.
I mean, tell us how you really feel. I mean, it's
I'm still trying to figure it
left.
out. Like, are you not happy with what's going on here?
I can't tell if he likes him or not, Gary. It seems like he likes him, but he doesn't like him. It feels like
I think that's like that. That's like the elementary school love,
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know what? You're just saying that because you like him so much.
Yeah.
It's not that
I was going to send a heart card to Brendan Aronson.
There you go.
I wish you would fall over for me. Now we want you to come up, Mom. We really do.
Yeah.
We do. We don't want to see you be miserable. All right. We know Tony
Football
runs you nuts on the wrestling show,
I hate football.
That's how this game is. There's only one winner, right?
I don't understand why I got into it. If it was like this, why?
You can always get into rugby.
No, it's even worse.
You sound like you're done with this football thing. You really want to be done with this football thing?
Like, you can go to
you have no clothes to wear if you're done with this football thing.
We'll just buy Boston Celtics gear then.
I mean, all of your wardrobe says Leeds.
He's got Celtics gear. He says he's got Celtics gear.
You have Celtics gear?
I have a Celtics.
So you just wear the same Celtic top around every day?
I mean, you can always pick up the Jacksonville Jaguars, London's NFL team. I mean, look, we're here for you, Tom. We want to see it get promoted.
Lazy throw attempt.
We want Ipswich and Leeds to go up just for fair measure.
Yeah.
Because the chat will be great. This show will be even just 10 times better.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I know Colonel Ward's he's poking the bear, but Banford, my oh my, my oh my, my oh my. I know you like him when he's good, but you hate him when he's bad. He was bad today. Bad today. I mean, he missed. When people say
Gary, why are you trying to upset Tom?
No, it was just I Mr. Tom saw me writing in the chat. I mean, he was not having a good day today.
It seared into my brain, him running after the ref going, ref, and it's like, what? What have you done to deserve a call from the ref?
Yeah. Yeah, he I mean, what was weird is the one goal that he missed, he had enough time to set up for it, and all he had to do, I mean, he could have just tapped it to his right foot and tapped it in, but he tried. I don't know what he tried to do, and the ball came off his shin anyways and went away. Tony disappeared, but he's back now. I don't know if that's the internet.
I thought he got sucked away by the thunderstorms because he's just going outside. He showed us this green blip of just hell headed his way, and he's
Well,
like,
in Oklahoma, they chase the thunderstorms
Sure.
and the lightning and stuff, and the tornadoes.
Oklahoma storm chasers, correct?
I was trying to get away from the lightning, and my finger slipped, and
You were trying to get away from the lightning, and
So you went outside.
why did you go outside in the first place, Tony?
to make sure my car windows were up.
Okay.
I've googled serial killers from Oklahoma,
Oh boy.
and so let me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
If you're not cow tipping or
16
doing
of them. 16 of them by definition.
Mm.
3 things come from Oklahoma: cow tippers, bale of haze, and serial killers.
Well, ironically, there isn't one in the T category, so you've not been caught, Tony.
Actually, we're more of a mass murderer than we are of a serial killer. Now let's go out and kill multiple people at once. Like 4 or 5 people.
That's not.
Then they're done.
Then they're done. They don't like to. They can't. They lose interest. That's at least a good thing. Yeah. No.
There's 8 entries for that on Wikipedia. 8. Mass murder in Oklahoma. There's 8.
Oh look, Tony's got to change his look. he's gonna come back with a hat or something.
So Gary, Wednesday, LUTON, 2:30.
Yes.
What changes are you potentially looking for the lineup? I know you talk rotation.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. I don't think Saka should play. For sure, I don't think he should play. I think Jesus should play. I need to get him minutes. I need to get him, if he's gonna. I assume get him prepared and ready to play for Champions League, which I think a lot of people would like to see. Jorginho probably. Well, I don't know. Here's my thing about Jorginho. Somehow we have, it's right now either him or Partey, or we have to move Havertz back to an 8 or Trossard to an 8, and none of those ideas sound good to me. I don't know where Partey is in his recovery, but Jorginho needs. I think. Well, we have the Champions League is after the Brighton match, right? Is that right?
Yeah, that following Tuesday, Saturday we play Brighton.
Yeah. So for me, it's all a matter of how do we give Jorginho the minutes he needs, but then also the rest that he needs. Usually, he's always a week at a time. So it's almost like for me, like it'd be nice to play Jorginho on Wednesday, but Brighton's the tougher game.
Yeah,
because it's away.
I would sit Jorginho in this game. Put Rice back at the 6, run Odegaard, and then Vieira potentially if you want to put him back in there and bring Partey in again about the 60th minute to get him some minutes. Well, I would love to see as Jesus on the right, Havertz up top, and then Martinelli on the left, with Trossard being the guy coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's if Martinelli can give you more than 30 minutes, then he probably deserves. He'll just keep playing until he's done. But I think Saka definitely. What's weird is Saka didn't do anything for 3 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was injured, and he's still, did he get injured practicing? Because he had 3 weeks, so he went to the camp, right, and then they sent him away. So he's not really played football. It wasn't going to be playing football for 3 weeks anyways, and he still looks the way he did. So
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what. I know we talked about the tactics of this. This is fake injuries. Stones was on the bench on Sunday, and he could have came in as the natural replacement for Ake, and chose Rico Lewis. So he was on the bench, but for what, right? Walker was out. Saka got sent home for potential injury. All they're holding a bubble wrap. Well, maybe there is something there. We don't know, but yeah, I just would be. I could see Arteta going strong in the first part and seeing mad rotation in the second half, especially
I
if you
don't
jump
think.
out on Luton.
Yeah, I don't.
He doesn't want to have to bring people on at 70th minute to try to get that goal. You know what I mean? So it's
Well,
like,
that's the thing. He doesn't play a style of football that lends itself to like we're gonna just blow out teams all the time
yeah,
in the first half. That's just not like we've seen it, but I don't think that's the style of play that we have. That you know what, we can just go out there and basically just attack, and put teams away consistently early in games. That's not. I believe that's not the style that he has set up. It happens sometimes, but I don't think it's a regular. It's not something. It's not the style of play. And it's not the way the team has responded to his style of play. Because we've scored a lot of times goals late in the games, right? I think, but consistently, first half, I don't always feel like we do that. You know, I don't always feel like we do that. And let's see. I mean, we score a lot of goals late in games, right? I'm just like looking at the last set of games. I mean, we scored, I guess, four goals against Sheffield United.
6.
Well, in the first half, I mean,
Oh,
as far
yeah.
as putting teams away, we've scored 2 against Newcastle, 2 against Burnley. I think we scored 4 against West Ham. So I mean, mostly we're putting in 1 or 2 goals. Every once in a while, we'll do like if it's a poor team. I don't know. I don't think Luton's a poor team that we're going to be able to get 4 and 5 goals across in a half to
I'm
rescue.
expecting 3-1.
Yeah, so I don't. So with that in mind, I don't. That can't be the way we play, right? That we're going to rest people when we get ahead because we never know when those goals are going to come.
I would wager to bet, Gary, that I think we're going to find that the Luton game's going to be a little bit tougher, probably a 3-1 victory. But Saturday against Brighton, we're going to surprise ourselves and probably blow them out.
No.
And I know Brighton's given us a lot of tough games, but I think our style of play, it's not the same Brighton we've played in the past. They gave Liverpool a good game on Saturday, but I mean, this is the final stretch. I think the only way they're going to find a way to potentially win something this year is if they take it a game at a time. I think you made a comment. I posted a picture about, the games, and they're like 1 game at a time. And that's 100%. That's how Arteta's feeding them in their mind mentality. And that's why sometimes I just, as much as we talk about rotation, I do want to see it. I just don't know how much you can really do. You kind of have to pinpoint things. If you're going to do a rotation on this game, I think Jorginho sits and I think Saka sits. I think you can afford to do those 2.
Well, if Martinelli's healthy, then Martinelli's going to play.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you want him ready for when you go to Champions League. So I feel like if he, you were able to get him in, but he needs to get back in, into place where he is, he takes the left spot, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't taking the left spot because it wasn't going to make a difference. You know what I mean? For me, anyway. I don't think for Arteta. So I kind of feel like, yeah. So Martinelli, if he's getting back into form and all of that, should get some minutes. That means, maybe Trossard does sit, and maybe if Jorginho is sitting, then maybe that's where I go. Like, is Fabio Vieira that much better than Trossard or Havertz as an 8?
The only thing that the Havertz to the 8 thing gives you the height. That's where I really like doing those aerial duels, right? That's where I think the advantage in the defensive tactics with him. Trossard, I mean, if you're going to start him on the left wing, because I think this is the thing. We're thinking about Brighton and Bayern, right? Because it's whether we want to agree with it or not. That's kind of the 2 that are Luton still can't be there, but you're picking players based on availability for Saturday and Tuesday. So, Luton is averaging giving up 2.2 goals a game. They're giving up 62 in 30 games. So they're not as porous as Sheffield United is, but let's not go back and forget what happened in the beginning of the year. 4-3, we needed a header from Rice to win that game. So if we're not careful, you could potentially have a tough match on Tuesday and Wednesday, and
Yeah, it sounds like people are asking. Now, Sam, we were talking about goals in the first half that would allow us to start subbing out, and we scored enough goals in the first half only in the West Ham and the Sheffield United games as far as what might be constituted as well. We scored enough now we can start pulling players out. Yeah, we're averaging a lot of goals, but the question is, will Arteta pull players out? When you think about it, the Brentford game, right? It was 1-1 at half because of the late goal. We didn't score until the end there, right there. So that game, I don't think we would do much subbing, right? Whereas the Sheffield United, we should have subbed a lot. Newcastle, we were up 2-0, So I kind of feel that's
representation of Sheffield United, Gary.
Huh?
I've got a visual representation of Sheffield United.
You do?
Yeah.
Show me. Yes. And if somebody puts on an Ipswich shirt and tries to come to your house, what happens? Do you let them in?
Denied.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So Sam, yes, I know. I hear you. The question is whether or not, if we're going to do rotation, how do we do it? If we do it based on score, it's hard to tell when we're going to get the goals. We have scored of late a lot of goals, but we just changed up our tactics a little bit, right? So the question is, will we be able to get it back right away? I like to think so. But Luton has been a team that's been, giving teams a tough time.
They stink.
Huh?
They stink.
Yeah, they stink, but they once in a while will come to play. Martinelli and Jesus need game time, so they need to play both games. My fear is the center backs, have White to sub for them, and we will need a rest. Yeah, that's the other question. Will Saliba and Gabriel continue to play every game? Or will Arteta actually decide, look, here we are, White, Tomiyasu, somebody will have to come in and play. When's the best time to do that? For me, the best time to do that would have been yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, we should have already done this by now.
Yeah.
If we're going to rotate, because it's like now you're getting you have what now 11 games left, at least 11. You want to get to 14, so it's going to be tough. But Arteta might be forced to do it, but in reality, he should be pulling center back should be coming off, or we should be rotating a center back over and pulling one of them out.
Has either of them showed they need rest, Gary? I know Gabriel played 4,100 minutes last season.
So you're just bringing up these numbers, and you're telling me when it happens, it might be too late. And that's the thing.
How do you remember these numbers, Tony?
I have a weird things with numbers. It's like I can't remember people's faces, but numbers, I'm like fucking Rain Man. I just see them all. It's a weird thing. It's kind of like how you can remember every WrestleMania, Tom.
Yeah.
It's like you can remember every WrestleMania.
Yeah. No, and nobody has 4,100 minutes, but they both have over 3,300 minutes.
I said last season, Gary. 4,100.
Well, we're talking about, but we don't care about last season. We're talking about this season.
What's Doc at? 3,800.
He's like Ty sitting again. Do you remember when Ryan Babel dived against Arsenal in 2005 or whatever it is?
So right now, Saliba's got just over 3,500. Gabriel and Declan Rice have over 3,300. Ben White has over 3,100. Saka, Erdegaard, they both have over 3,000.
I gotta watch that video again.
And Kai Havertz has over 2,800 minutes. So, we've got players that are going to hit the 3,000 mark. Rayo definitely will. Gabriel Martinelli, he has only got 2,200. So, yeah, like I said, at some point there's got to be games when you got to pull them out earlier, right? There's got to be games where maybe they don't start. I understand it's it's too late now, but I just feel like when you're going in that Bayern Munich stretch, that's going to be tough, right?
I mean, if you're out of the league, yeah, you probably set somebody, but if we're still got a chance for both, your Gabriel and Saliba are going to be number one. That they may be pulled. Let's just go for a shits and giggle experiment. Let's say you smash Bayern in the first game. Whatever. It could happen. Probably not, but say you win 5-1 on aggregate the first night. What are you going to do that second leg? You're not. I mean, you are going to start Gabriel and Saliba in that game, right? You'd have to, but you could also pull them earlier if you get a couple more goals. I mean, this is the stretch. I mean, we're going to have to do some sort of rotation, but the three names I don't think we'll ever see off the team sheet. It's going to be White. It's going to be Gabriel, Saliba, and Rice.
Yeah, and Erdogan.
Saka's going to get set. I think it's going to happen.
May not come out as well. He's not coming out. No. Who do we got? Like there's no. We have 5 players. We have nobody behind them.
You could do Smith Rowe as a 10. He doesn't have the same levels as Odegaard.
You can't do it. We're not seeing it now. So where in the world? Like I'm only talking about players that I know will probably come in. Trossard could come in. Jesus could come in and push Saka to the right, push Saka to the bench. Those are the only 2 players that can push Saka to the bench when they come on. All right, it's Trossard and Jesus.
Gary,
yes. What's that?
I'm your conscience.
Yes, I hear you. It sounds like somebody wants to check out their chips.
I mean,
we'll get to your crisps in a little bit. Even Colonel wants crisps.
So, 1 second, Gary. I mean, I'm gonna.
Yeah. No. Keep going. Keep going. We'll get there. Go.
I think you can get Vieira playing right wing. You could do Smith Rowe as a 10. Havertz as a 10. There's a lot of rotation. The Smith Rowe thing. Everybody talks about Smith Rowe. I mean, he's only on $40,000 a week. It's not a lot of money for what we have at the club we're giving out, but the injury. There's still a player there that I think Arteta is going to continue to grow with. I just think he's got players he trusts right now, right? And there's not much room for error. So I still think Smith Rowe's going to have a play in this championship. One of these games, Smith Rowe's going to have a big moment. He's finally going to get that goal in the back of the net. Reece Nelson, we're going to see him potentially. This is a game where potentially you could start a Reece Nelson over Osaka, right?
I'm just telling you, when I talk about rotation, it's not the players. You're talking about the players that have the least amount of opportunity to come in.
And that's the thing too. Like
you're bringing up Reece Nelson, you might as well just bring up Nketiah, and you know he doesn't have much. And once we get healthier, right? Once we get healthier, there's less space on the bench for certain players, right?
Yeah, well, just wait for when Timber comes back. Someone's gonna not get a shirt.
So yeah. But Mr. Tom, as Tony likes to say, I got a question. Mr. Tom, I got a question.
Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to the crisp zone. I'm not bringing that back. Anyway, right, so I went to my local crisp emporium and I said, give me the saltiest crisps you can find. So they did. So I got Lay's salted.
Oh,
not ready salted, just salted.
Ready.
How much difference is it? Tom, let us know.
I have no idea.
What do you mean different from what?
From ready salted versus ready salted.
I can smell the salt. Wait 1 second. They smell oddly similar.
You mean like they smell like there's salt on them,
Anyway, what? Oh my god, the state of that. You can almost see through it. American crisp, just like their football players. Transparent. You know what?
What?
He's not bad though.
For some reason, he doesn't like you again.
So what else is fucking new? I've been starving for 2 hours.
Not yet. Not
What
yet.
kind of crisp are those, Tom? You said they're American. You said they're American crisp.
They are. They literally are. They are Lays.
Yeah.
It's hard to know when you get like the German ones. He gets Lays from everywhere.
He's just clipped me. I know it. I know he's. I've just clipped someone's face. Just clipped me.
For what?
What?
Go make a meme. Go on
Who?
meme at it.
Who is?
Who, me?
That's exactly the sort of thing you would do, Spencer.
I do like to make memes, but
He's the meme machine.
All right, let's get a ranking for this.
it's American. It's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, let's hurry up so we can go watch American wrestling.
We're going 5 out of 10 because it's literally just salted crisps.
Yeah.
No difference in texture or anything done.
I had a surprisingly low amount of crisps today.
Yeah, it sounds like a bag's like that's definitely an American bag where you get like 60% air.
All right, one last question on the crisps. What do they actually taste like?
They taste of potato and oil and salt. Which is, hang on. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry.
You're not gonna be able to pronounce half those ingredients, Tom.
We're gonna have to wait for you to finish eating, or are you gonna talk?
No,
he's looking at the ingredients.
Oh, we don't need to know the ingredients. We're gonna get at. It sounds like we're gonna get out of here. Nobody wants to hear him read off ingredients off of a bag of crisps. But before everybody says their goodbyes, I don't know if you guys saw in the at least in the social networking arena. I guess Hugh Wizzy came back for a hiatus, and today Kevin Campbell actually came back. It was on Highbury Squad. That's kind of, he's out for a while with a sickness or whatever. So, but he's back. That was good to see him back on there. So, yeah.
Does that mean we'll be getting some late night fraudulence?
Definitely. So let's get out of here. I'm gonna let everybody have their say. We'll start with Tony.
Wish we got more than 1 point. I think we're probably gonna need it. I agree with Gary that and Spitzer both pretty much every game we must win. Hopefully our tactics doesn't come back to bite us in the ass. But I think there's a good chance that City drops points Wednesday because Villa's a good team. So hopefully Liverpool starts slipping up. So they will. Overall, to me the game was boring, especially second half. But I would like seeing both teams go after each other. That's it.
Cool.
As I vanished into the
sounds like it. And Spencer, what say you before we get out of here?
I love a good 0-0 tactical chess match. I love it. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not surprised me.
It's literally watching two guys just go at it and figure out who they're gonna take off to break down the other. Whatever, but I can watch NFL films being broke down too of So I'm kind of a dork when it comes to that. But other than that, enjoy your week. Got a big game Wednesday. Every game's a big game from now on. So cliche out the window. Saturday, massive game. Gary, I believe that game is that a 10 o'clock game, sir? If I'm not mistaken.
12:30, I think is
12:30 kick. Okay. So join us Saturday for the trip.
the road trip. You mean?
The road trip. Sorry, I get the names of them. So sorry. Tom, appreciate you coming, and love football, love your crisp, and Tony, glad you're doing well, and Gary, thanks for having me on as always, and everybody stay safe.
Cool. Mr. Tom, tell the people bye. Bye.
I'm still a bit concerned by Spencer's speech when he said he loves seeing two men going at it. Now I know there's nothing wrong with that in a modern society, and there's genuinely nothing wrong with that. But I was just concerned with how blasé and comfortable Spencer was with openly admitting that.
The man's comfortable in his own skin. Leave him alone.
And then when he said he was happy that I was coming today, I was thinking, wait, am I one of the men that? Anyway, wait, what?
You should be flattered.
I don't think that any of that was said that way. I think that was
I'm massively flattered. Hell, maybe even a little curious. But the answer is no.
I think it was before goes to Pat Patterson and Vince McMahon. Is what he dreamed up done.
You had to Tony Turner it, didn't you? Okay. So, in all seriousness, thank you everyone. Even Spencer. He's getting ready to type something. He's going to tractor. Come on now. I know him well enough now. He's fucking typing tractor boys, weren't he? He was good.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, of course. I'm in your brain. I'm literally now just hopping out of your brain. Probably out.
Tell the people bye-bye.
Did you know I've got something called a currant bun? And it's a traditional Easter feast. It's not a feast. There's nothing feasty about it.
How the fuck is that a feast, Tom?
Does everybody's favorite 80s musical star like Easter buns as well?
Does Mr. Pooh like? Can we just call him Mr. Pooh?
All right, tell the people bye-bye. Come on, get out of here.
I'm here with my buns.
It sounds like something's in your bum the way you're talking.
Even Gary's laughing at my appearance.
Why are you so excited?
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Just for a long
and that was the man behind.
I'm forever blowing bubbles.
This is.
Bubbles in
Say bye-bye, please.
Good night, Tony. Go on, Gary. Let's get out of here.
Good night, Tony.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Oh, man. All right, everybody. We're going to get out of here. We'll be back next Monday. Hopefully, we're talking about 2 wins, 6 points. Arsenal is wherever they are. And we will do this again. For those who follow NCAA tournament time, and the women are playing tonight, LSU is down 7 to Iowa. Hawkeye, Caitlin, what's her name?
Gary. The secret ingredient is crime.
The secret ingredient is what?
Crime.
Prime.
Crime.
Right.
He looks so dejected.
I don't even. Caitlin Clark is leading her team. How many does she have in this game? She's got 39 points. So she's doing what she didn't do last season when she played LSU. So she's gonna get her team into the championship there. So good luck for her.
Not as many points as I got on NBA 2K24 though.
There you go. You're right about that.
Toronto Raptors when I scored 118 points in one game.
Yes. And but we'll be back. Check us out. We call those hot cross buns in Canada.
He's right. We call them that as well. I don't know what I said. He's right.
Yeah. And I don't know what this Diddy comments about, but Diddy's doing things he shouldn't
Did
be
he?
doing.
Really?
Yeah. So, but we'll be back. Everybody, have a good one. We'll see you on the next one. And it's time to go. And last words for me will be.